In the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how I signed a $13,000 client. And you heard that right, $13,000, one client, about a month and a half worth of work. And this was all without me having to do a single piece of cold outreach. So I've got a whole game plan here. I'm going to walk you guys through and literally show you the exact proposal that I sent him, how I upsold him, the strategy behind it, and I'm going to do it really quickly. So we started off with him having to find me, right? Like any client's got to find you first. And so I created content on YouTube and I was just posting things. Like what was my email strategy? What was my school about page strategy? How I write XYZ type of copy, how I sign XYZ type of clients on school. And I would use these keywords like copywriting, emails, school funnel to get the right kind of clients. But you might be looking at this and you might be thinking, Patrice, I don't have a picture with Hormozy. I don't have all these wins like you have. So how is that going to work for me? Well, let me just show you really quick the channel as it was when I actually signed this $13,000 client. So this is what I was posting. I was getting, sometimes I get 1,000 views, 500 views, nothing crazy, right? And you can probably tell by these thumbnails, like I was not a pro. I was not, getting an editor or a professional thumbnail designer to do any of this. It was all very chill. And I'm going to show you guys really quick the type of video that Michael actually found me through. So
we're going to dive into exactly
video literally just shares how to make a welcome sequence, basically on school, how to write it. And I'll take you guys to the tab to show you how he actually booked the call. But you can see nothing fancy here. This is recorded with a Bluetooth mic right there and my laptop, my $700 refurbished MacBook. And then, some type of light, but so he clicks this video. He sees that I know what I'm talking about. He sees how to write a welcome sequence. He knows he doesn't want to write his own because he's running a business and he's a real estate guy who just wants to build a course on school. And so he sees this book a call button and he goes to my page, applies, goes through the actual funnel, really, really simple, goes to the page where he can actually book a call and he schedules on a free 15-minute call with me. And that's how he actually got to know me. That's how he got in touch with me, right? So it started with that YouTube content, nothing fancy, nothing professional. All of you guys can do that. And then he books the call. And from there, I see that he's booked the call. He also shot me a DM on Instagram because I tagged my Instagram in all of my content. So you can see that right there. I recommend you guys do that because it's just another way for people to reach you. And so as soon as I see that he's booked a call, I decided to go and do some research on his business so that on the call, I'm not walking into it blind. I wanted to know, does this guy make money? What's his niche? And that'll give me a little bit of ammunition to ask the right type of questions and also understand where he's at financially, what his goals might be, and just come into the call like a professional who's prepared for a sales call instead of winging it. All right. So that's something I did. I look at, mostly on school, what he's building. And then I think I also typed in his website because I found it through his Instagram profile. So that helped. And then I interview him. And so I don't really do sales calls traditionally. I run a sales call like it's an interview. And I just have a series of questions that I ask my clients or my leads before I sign them. And it positions me as the authority because it really makes them feel like I'm checking to see if they're somebody I want to work with, as opposed to me trying to prove to them why they should work with me. I'm never going to tell a client, hey, this is why you should work with me, ever. They either want to work with me or they don't. But really, the determining thing on that call is whether I want to work with them. And if I'm confident I can get them results, then it's like, boom, let's go. Let's do it. Let's go all in. And so I recommend you guys run your sales calls like that. I have a whole sales script. If you guys want to check it out, you can click the link below and either book a call or join my free community. Check that out. But it's just a series of questions. Really, really simple and low pressure on you as well. So that's a little side note. Then from that call, after I've figured out what his business is about, what he wants to do, I've asked him, how much money do you want to make? How much money are you currently making? Now I know, okay, he can afford my services. He's making 30, 40K a month. Then I'm going to book him in for another call. And the way I do that is I say, all right, I'm going to put everything we've talked about on this call into writing. And I'm going to send you a proposal basically showing you what it would cost if you want me to write all of these different things that you've listed for you. And I'll give you a couple different options. That way you can just pick what's the best for you right now. Sound good? And then he'll say, sounds good. Awesome. Business owners love that because it makes them feel like they're in control, gives them that, chance to kind of customize their package. And as a copywriter, it gives the flexibility if like you think their budget is like 5K, but it's actually 2K. Well, you can still sign them if you've got a couple different pricing options. Or what happened with this client was I thought his budget was like 3 or 4K, but I put some extra stuff on that proposal and I wound up signing him for a lot more. So let's get into that. So I schedule the second call. I basically just say, all right, what's a good time for you over the next 2 days to get on another call? Then I create the proposal. And so this is his exact proposal. I'm going to show you guys. Let's take it into another tab. And I just basically put marketing for the school games at the top, proposal for Michael's school game strategy, and I list out the goals. This is important because this shows the client that you were listening on the call and that you remember why it is that they want your help. And so I listed out the things he said on the call, which is another good reason why you want to have a recorder in your meetings taking note of what the client goals are so you can list them out like this. I list out different prices for the school setup, 2000. Email welcome series, 1400. It's funny seeing these prices because I charge so much more sometimes now for the done for you stuff. But some of it's actually still the same with like it's a little bit more though for the school setup. But DM sequence, that would probably be the same. These two would probably be way more than that now. But I list everything out. Point of this is you guys can see each individual thing has a price. I was expecting him to just do a school setup and email welcome sequence because that's what he wanted. And I was expecting him to be a 2000 plus 1400 equals $3,400 client. That's what I was expecting. Instead, he said, let's do all of this. And I have a text message of him saying, that'll be $10,000, right? And then what's cool is he actually upsold himself even more. So he bought everything on the scope and then he wanted my help going into the month too. So it wound up being a $13,000 project. And that was something I did completely. So 100% profit margin pretty much there. So let's go back to here. So I sent him the proposal. I got a bit ahead of myself here, but then we get on call number 2. You can see here, this is a long call, 73 minutes. We basically went through, mapped out the entire game plan. I made sure he was happy with it. It covered everything he needed. And then from there, I set up payments. So he didn't have 13K to spend on that same day. He did have it like in the bank. He just had to move it around. So the first payment, I think he paid like 4K and then he paid like a second payment and a third payment over the next couple weeks. And it was all collected within 30 days. I don't like to put payments past that. But yeah, then like obviously there was some ongoing work there that brought the pricing up, but that was the game plan. And the key factor I want you guys to keep in mind is the sales process, the sales angle of it being an interview style, and then how I did that proposal. And if you guys want that proposal or you want to see the versions of proposals that I use, you can use them for your own business, book a call below and I can show you guys some of the strategies I use and help you map out your game plan as a copywriter or a freelancer. And I'll see you guys in the next video.